All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Jared Smith, Charleston weather. Um, it is, well, we have a tornado warning in effect for portions of Charleston, Dorchester, and Colleton counties. The threat is about to leave Colleton County right now. I've got the radar up here. Let's just go right to it. Let's just not waste any time and go into this. So right now, as you can see, we have a pretty strong storm, possibly producing a tornado, moving a little right. Just crossed Highway 17, very near Jacksonboro, and this is headed northeast at about 15 miles per hour. Um, so if you're Beck Landing, Kennedy Landing, Delamar Crossroads down the road, Parker's Ferry Landing, um, uh, Parker's Ferry proper, um, be aware that this storm may not be producing one right now. And as we look at the correlation coefficient, which tells us if there's debris, certainly does not appear to be the case, but we do have this potential rotating thunderstorm that is moving northeast, just north of Highway 17. And this has eyes on Delamar Highway, which is South Carolina 165. So Gettysville, Clubhouse Crossroads, Delamar Crossroads, Parker's Ferry Landing, you should be in a safe place right now. And what is a safe place for a tornado? That is the lowest floor of a sturdy site-built structure, interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Um, and again, and just stay there, and we'll let you know when things are good. But in the meantime, we need to keep an eye on this strong rotation just north of 17. Let me do this a little bit here and go to the NROT product. And what this does, this tells us, it gives us a general idea of just how strong this rotation is. And we're at a 0.85, and that's respectable. And so, again, this could tighten up and form a brief tornado at any time. Um, Unfortunately, my GIS is not giving me much in the way of streets here, but um, looks like, let's see if I can't get some street names for you here. Give me just a second. Martin's Landing Road, that's one. Um, so if you're on Martin's Landing Road, this might be certainly something to keep an eye out for here. Um, do a quick little storm track. And so again, doing the storm track, these little tick marks are 15-minute increments. So it'd be in Delamar Crossroads in about the next half hour or so. If this continues to hold up based on the storm motion here. Now let's see, check that updated scan. Still no sign of any debris being wafted, which is a good sign. Again, and you have this strong rotation now showing up just north of Parker's Ferry along Highway 17. And this is past Jacksonboro at this point. You're probably getting some very heavy rain in Jacksonboro. Um, you're probably getting, quite a bit of probably some very gusty winds as well. And we'll be wanting to know about any issues with wind damage or stuff after after this is gone, of course. So again, right now it's just about over Jacksonboro, just maybe just a click east of Jacksonboro now, and this is heading. This is going to head through kind of northwestern parts of Charleston County, approaching Highway 165 here in the next 15 to 30 minutes. And again, looking north. Looking north here, we have there's your rotation, and let me get out the marker tool, and I can tell you why this is rotation. I think that one thing that this is. Let me see here. Not sure where all that went. So one thing that this lets us do is see where in the storm there might be rotation. You see the reds are the outbound winds and the greens are the inbound winds. The radar's down in Jasper County. And so right in there is where we see that possible tornado. Let me, and as I continue to try to get some controls over this. Having a few technical issues right now, but nothing we can't handle. Um, anyway, we'll just go from here. Getting a photo of suspicious looking clouds over North Charleston right now. Again, let me zoom out real quick. I think it's important to note for all of you watching here is that we have a few isolated showers and thunderstorms in the Charleston metro area, but at this time there are no tornado threats in the Charleston metro area proper. So North Charleston, Charleston, Hanahan, Somerville, keep an eye on this one. No warning for you yet. We'll see how long this rotation holds up. But right now we have no concerns over possible tornadic activity that far north. Again, we have this, let me, I'm going to take this prob severe off here real quick. And again, zooming in real tight here, Beck Landing, Kennedy Landing, this is just right around New Parker's Ferry. This is just to your north, kind of splitting the difference here. Maybe tweak the storm track a little bit. And this is going to take it very close to Delamar Crossroads in the next 20 minutes, presuming current course and speed. Let me tweak the storm motion here. And it looks like all of that remains constant. So again, this is going to head up, it's going to cross 165 here. Not immediately, but pretty soon. So again, getting good lead time on this possible tornado, which is moving northeast at 15 miles per hour right now. And so again, the more of a rural part of Charleston and Dorchester counties. However, this is, there's still plenty of population, plenty of road network out here that we need, people to be aware of. There's the reflectivity again. A lot of rain with these storms. I mean, the story of the day has been heavy rain more than anything else. But once again, switching over to the correlation coefficient product, trying to find any sign of lofted debris, no signs of that so far, which is good. But we do have this hook echo here and this rotation right at the center line there of where I've got that. Now I'm trying to, let's see here. I'm just going to try and pull up some tools here to help kind of narrate the situation a little bit more. And I may have to make some adjustments there. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it here. So we're just going to have to just roll with this. Just have to roll with it as is. And again, we have that rotation, Kennedy Landing and Beck Landing here. Let me go to the normalized rotation product, looking a little weaker now. It's jogging a little north. So again, we're losing some of that eastward deviant motion, which is helpful. But this rotation continues to ping, and it has cycled down and spun up a little bit. I'll put it in motion here, just kind of back it up, and we'll step through this as we go. And you can see how the rotation, this green blob here, across Jacksonboro, there's a new warning, spun up real good, and now is spinning down maybe a little bit more as it gets close to Kennedy Landing and Beck Landing. Still in very far western Charleston County. This is currently not a concern for the Charleston metro area. So Charleston, North Charleston, Johns Island, James Island, all those areas, you're fine. I think that's the most important thing here. We have a few showers starting to pop up down here. This area has been rotating a little bit for the last couple hours, been keeping an eye on it. And it did tighten up enough to where the Weather Service decided a tornado warning was prudent. So again, tornado warning continues here. It's going to continue until 6:15. We have a new storm getting started ahead of it, very near Delamar Crossroads. This is not the tornadic storm. You may hear an uptick. Here, we just got an update on the tornado warning. Yep, the severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Again, no confirmed tornado on this, but that doesn't mean that one won't form. I think that's important. We have the technology to tell you ahead of time whether something could form, and we want to make sure that y'all know, that that this could happen. And so this is quite helpful for sure. So again, radar indicated rotation. This is going to come pretty close to Ravenel, maybe just north of Ravenel, just north of Capitol's Crossroads. Again, Delamar Crossroads, Clubhouse Crossroad, Beck Landing right now. That's very near you. Go back to the velocity display, and yeah, you can see, you have this decent little velocity couplet still showing up. Let me, the shear is not, the strongest shear we've ever seen, but if we tilt up a little bit, you can see that it is pretty, decently vertically stacked, which, gives you some confidence that if there is some rotation, it could put down a weak tornado. And weak tornadoes cause problems. Just because it's not a strong tornado doesn't mean it can't bring trees down, doesn't mean it can't bring power lines down, doesn't mean it can't do damage to homes. And so we need people to be taking shelter in that interior room on that lowest floor, away from windows, away from the outside, down by Beck Landing, Kennedy Landing, Delamar Crossroads. You are definitely something to watch for you as well. But if there is one bit of good news, is that we just got another scan. So the other thing that's really great is that the Weather Service has turned the radar to a mode that lets us basically see everything with it lets us see everything update every minute, which is super handy right now. So again, if there is a tornado, it's going to be in here. It's going to be rain wrapped. You're not going to be able to see it. That's another big problem, is that we've got a lot to we've got a fair bit here of rain, and so when you have a rain wrapped tornado, you can't visually confirm it. We don't ask you not to try and visually confirm these, and just take the warning seriously and hunker in. Once again, just looking around at different sources of radar here, just trying to see what we can discern. At this time, there's no sign that there is anything on the ground, but again, we want to make sure that everybody understands that that is something that could be that is certainly something that is a possibility. And so again, watching you now, if you're just joining us, Jared Smith, Carolina Weather Group, Charleston Weather, tornado warning for Charleston County because 2020. And we have a rotating thunderstorm just east of Jacksonboro, about north of Adams Run, moving northeast at 15 miles an hour, not exactly a barn burner here. May produce a weak tornado. No sign of that anything has touched down yet. However, we do have this tornado warning up until 6:15. The storm has shown signs of cycling up, cycling down, cycling up, cycling down. And so we could have a tornado form really at any time. And I'm going to zoom in here on the area of rotation right there. And you see Kennedy Landing, Beck Landing. Where you see the greens is the winds going towards the radar. The radar is to our southwest in Jasper County. When you see the reds, those are winds going away from the radar. And again, that radar is in Jasper County. So when you see the reds and the greens converge like this, you do have the potential for some rotation in the storm that could produce a tornado. I want to point out, as we zoom out a little bit, just kind of show the whole thing. We have no concerns right now for tornadoes in the proper Charleston metro area. So Charleston proper, downtown, West Ashley, you're okay. But if you're headed west on 17, be aware that you're going to run into some nasty weather. It may not be a tornado, it just may be a lot of heavy rain. But the tornado warning does continue here until 6:15. There is still a tornado warning out for Colleton County as well. Not really seeing any sign of any new rotation developing, and it's very possible that the Weather Service is concentrating now on this tornado warning in Charleston and Dorchester counties. It does take in a very small sliver of Colleton County as well. But I would say Jacksonboro, from a tornado perspective, I think you're probably okay. Same with Ashpoo and Nails. So again, we're looking at Kennedy Landing here, very close now to Kennedy Landing, where you have this rotation. And this just crossed, fortunately, I can't get anything better than State Road S1038 out of my GIS here. So if you were, it's just north of Parker's Ferry. So anywhere between Parker's Ferry and Kennedy Landing, you want to be in a safe spot. This is still kind of has eyes in Delamar Crossroads here in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Let me set a storm track up real fast. And again, every tick is 15 minutes. So roughly, 15 to 20 minutes or so. Now, will come very near Delamar Crossroads and the Charleston and Dorchester line in western Charleston County and southwestern Dorchester County. This is going to approach Highway 165 at some point. So if you're along Highway 165, generally between, let me see if I can't get any specifics here, Highway 165 between Boyle Way and I would say, let's see here, between Boyle Way and and Hyde Park Road, for example, that is probably a good time for you to be in a safe place. And so again, we're watching it closely here. Rotation's not the strongest. It's not the strongest we've ever seen on radar. However, it is certainly a possibility and something that we're going to need to address. So, again, something to note is that we are watching this. We are watching this pulse up and down. It's not as good as it used to look. Let me set it in motion here. This is the last hour or so, and you can see that rotation spin up, spin down, kind of pop up, pop down. And now here we are at the present time, roughly near Kennedy Landing, Beck Landing here, moving northeast, not looking as good. We'll go to our NROT product. This helps us evaluate the strength of rotation very easily. Colleton County, you're clear. So tornado warning has been canceled for Colleton County. The tornado warning will continue for Dorchester and Charleston counties until 6:15. I'm going to wait to get an updated polygon here in a second that should show the new storm motion here. The storm is slowed down a little bit now. It's moving northeast at 10. So that is one change in this in the updated tornado warning, that it is slowed down a little bit. So we'll get that updated storm motion here. And again, if there is a tornado in here, it's going to be awfully hard to find. We have a lot of rain wrapped up into this. And so that is going to become, that's going to become very difficult to find, wherever any possible tornado might be. Let's see. All right, so that's not working. Let me close that. So again, if there is a tornado there, you're not going to be able to see it, and we're going to need people to, trust the technology and take shelter. Also worth noting that I'm looking now at another area. There's a secondary area of very weak rotation, but rotation nonetheless, that might be trying to spin up, and perhaps a third near Parker's Ferry. So we'll see how this goes. Again, we'll see if this is noise or if this is something that's worth watching. But by far the strongest rotation right now is just to the southeast of Kennedy Landing, moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. Let me get the updated storm motion here, and I'll put a track on it. And again, that would bring it, very near, closest pass between Delamar and Clubhouse Crossroad in the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. This is going to get near Highway 165 as well. So again, just if your phone went off for tornado warning earlier, and you're not in Colleton County, you're clear. You're good in Colleton County. We're going to recommend that you take cover. We're going to recommend that you get within an interior room, lowest floor. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And so that is something that we're going to need to, watch out for in western Charleston County and southwestern Dorchester County. This does not include Somerville. This does not include Ladson, Goose Creek. This does not include North Charleston, West Ashley, downtown, Ravenel, and Hollywood. Looks like this is going to stay to your north. So that's good news for you. So again, not huge population centers, but populated places nonetheless. And we want to make sure that everybody's safe out here this afternoon and evening as the tornado warning continues now until 6:15. I'm going to take the radar data off for a second, and we'll show you. This is the tornado warning polygon here. Again, Colleton County, in the clear. You're good. Have a lot of rain, you have a lot of lightning, but you're fine. The action now is going to be north of 17, getting into getting into southern Dorchester County. So again, not the most classic tornado signature you'll ever see. Oftentimes with these types of setups are very difficult. It's very difficult to discern these. This is why we have the Doppler velocity, and it does look like that maybe it is trying to peak back up a little bit now just to the east of Kennedy Landing. I'm just kind of tilting it back and forth here. We'll tilt up a little bit, just see how deep the rotation goes. And, again, we have, a sign that, it's still relatively vertically stacked. So that is something that we'll need to watch carefully. So we'll zoom back in a little bit. And the rotation is just right near the Charleston and Colleton line, just a few clicks east of the Charleston Colleton line. And again, and when we look at the reflectivity, you can't really make anything out. Just a lot of rain. And so again, the important thing is that the risk for a tornado remains rain wrapped in here. So that is something that we'll need to keep a close eye on. All right. So let me, before that, let me, all right. So checking on that now. There may be a surge of very strong winds coming down Highway 17 just east of Parker's Ferry. And we're going to need to keep an eye on that as well. And it's possible that this could spin something up. We're starting to lose some definition in this rotation to the north, and it is possible that a new rotation, while not immediately likely, could begin to spin up again. We have some very weak signs of rotation on the NROT product. And the other thing to note is that this is looking a little more elongated. This is looking a little more stretched, not looking as good as it has. And I believe we have Scotty now on the line as well.
Yeah. Hey, Jared here. Sorry about that. Didn't have my phone on.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm getting radar put up right now.
Cool. Sounds good. We have Scotty Powell with us on the Carolina Weather Group as we speak. And a couple things to note is that I've got a couple things happening right now. We've got this one broad area of rotation. It's just east of Kennedy Landing, Beck Landing. We may have a second area of rotation trying to organize just to the southwest of Delamar Crossroads. Now, hard to say, I'm just going to look at a couple of the products here, see if this is legit, but certainly something that we'll need to keep an eye on. Also, some gusty winds coming down 17 by Parker's Ferry, right at the intersection of 17 and 174. This surge could potentially spin up another area of rotation. So we need to keep an eye on that as well. So let's, Scotty, just to, give you an idea here, we've got probably some rain wrapped stuff. If I had to guess, we got some really rain wrapped stuff going on here. You're not going to be able to see any of this. So anybody in this polygon, again, Gettysville, Clubhouse Crossroads, Delamar Crossroads, we've been talking about these places a lot. Parker's Ferry, probably on the other end of it, probably okay. But man, look at this this surge here of wind that's come down 17 just in the last few frames. And again, we're getting a new update every about 60, 70 seconds here. So about every minute or so, we're getting a new frame at the lowest tilt. And we've seen some very heavy rain surging along Highway 17 there, and we'll need to see if that wraps up. And this area by Delamar Crossroads looks like it's starting to wrap up as well. And again, taking this full, we have one area of rotation that is not the best to find near Delamar Crossroads, but it looks like it might be trying to wrap up. We have a second area of rotation that prompted the tornado warning in the first place. This is by just to the north of, or rather just to the east of Kennedy Landing, north of Parker's Ferry, where there is a fairly strong outflow surge, maybe a little RFD surge possibly coming across there. Again, the winds out of that maybe 30 miles an hour there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pattern evolves, but you can see a little bit of that curve in the reflectivity here by Delamar Crossroads. And again, it makes me wonder if maybe this rotation to this western rotation is about to possibly be overtaken by this more easterly rotation that's very close to the Dorchester Charleston line.
You know, Jared, one good thing right now, looking at this, and I'm just trying to catch everything up here, as the Charleston metro area not under this warning right now. It's about
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock, so you know those folks who are working in the office probably heading out right now. But good thing
Mm-hmm.
that this is not happening in the metro area as of 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's certainly good. The Weather Service has reboxed the warning. They have repositioned. I believe they have 32, 84, 80, 35. I'm looking at the warning here. Yeah, so they are still kind of. I think they're going to treat both of these circulations as possibly tornadic circulations at this point, as it does seem that the radar presentation certainly is not excellent, but you know, looking at this Delamar Crossroads, so they now believe that the potential for severe weather for a tornado is increasing very quickly there. So again, if you're in Delamar Crossroads, if you're near there, you should be getting hunkered into a tornado safe place, that lowest level of your home, away from windows.
And you know, Jared, it looks like this is a pretty slow moving storm as well. Normally, when we see these warnings, these storms are moving faster, but looking at the Weather Service product there, it's moving about 15 miles per hour. So, kind of a
Mm-hmm.
slow moving cell. But again, Jared was talking about those safe places. Jared, I'll let you grab a drink of water if you need to. But where do you
Mm-hmm.
go? That's the most interior part of your home. Maybe if you have a basement, that's great. I know a lot of people don't. So you just want to get to the lowest level as possible. Put as many walls between you and the outside. That way, if there is any flying debris, you have those walls to serve as kind of like a barrier or protection for you. You want to make sure that you have some sort of helmet or some sort of headgear to protect your head. Your head houses your brain, and your brain helps control the whole body. So you don't want any traumatic head injuries from the any debris. So make sure that you have some sort of protection for your head. It's always a good idea to have some kind of goggles to keep your eyes protected from flying debris, and also some long sleeve shorts to keep your arms and legs from getting cut by any debris, and also some sturdy shoes. So if there was to be a tornado and you had to walk outside and there's damage, you don't have um, any any foot injuries. Looking at Jared, I think he's taken a hit for the power. So let's go ahead and I'll screen share my radar because you don't want to see me, and we'll take place and let you see what's going on. So again, this tornado warning continues until 6:15, and this is again for portions of Charleston and Dorchester County at 5:55 p.m. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Delmar Crossroads, moving northeast at 15 miles per hour. Let's zoom in here, and you can kind of see here is the rotation that we are monitoring in this area. So it's going to be moving off to the northeast. This does not include the Charleston metro area just yet, but if we do see an extension of this warning, it's definitely possible that part of the metro area could be included in this warning. But again, out here, the Delmar Crossroads area, and then eventually, if you are in Ravenel, that is going to be just to the south of this warning, but you could also see some rotation move through this area. So again, this tornado warning continues until 6:15. I think we've got Jared back, so that's good. The power back on at his house.
Yeah.
But rotation is moving to the northeast, and this is going to be moving closer to more populated areas like Johns Island, then eventually towards the Charleston, North Charleston area. But with the slow moving of the system, you've got time to get in your shelter. You know, a lot of people like to go out and see if they can see it. You're not going to be able to see anything. This is going to be rain wrapped, so you're not going to see some funnel drop out. You definitely want to be inside. And it looks like we've got some new rotation popping up here, maybe spinning down and cycling with a new rotation here Jared, that's going to be coming into just outside of Somerville over the next little bit.
Yeah, Scotty, I'm
Yep,
kind
I've
of
got.
reconfiguring here.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stop my video. I'm on LTE right now, and my connection is not very good.
I can.
As I wait for internet to come back.
Yep.
However, what I'm gonna do
I'll
is
I'll share my screen so the folks can see at least the radar of
mhm.
what's going on. So I'm gonna just kind of with my cursor here show you. We're watching this area of rotation as well as this area. To me, it looks like one area is kind of spinning down, and then we have a new area that's kind of cycling up with the potential of some rotation there. And again, this is going to be just outside of Somerville, Goose Creek, Mount Holly, by about 10 miles just to the south west of those locations.
Yeah, and again, it looks like we have a rotation. We have two areas of rotation. The tightest one, honestly, is the one near Delamar Crossroads. It's right on the Charleston Dorchester line at this point. So that one seems to be the dominant rotation. And I'm getting a tweet out real quick, but yeah, I would say that if you're anywhere in Delamar Crossroads, and along Highway 165, which is the road that's just to the right of that small area of rotation, I would definitely be taking cover. We have a broader mesocyclone that isn't as well defined. It looks like a broader rotation. I would certainly say that the rotation over Delamar Crossroads is the one that I am most concerned about right now, just to the east of 165.
Yeah, so again, this tornado warning goes for another 14 minutes or so. And again, this includes Charleston and Dorchester County. Trying to get the radar to refresh here so we can get that pulled up.
Absolutely. And I think, I'm still kind of getting back online a little bit, but
yep. I've got radar. We've got radar up, Jared. So I'll continue to show those folks this area again. The two areas of rotation, but this one along the county line is the one that is what we were watching. Let's pull on the rotation markers, and you can kind of see this rotation along the county line. That is where the strongest. Again, most of this, Jared, you're more familiar with this area than I am, but looks to be more of a rural area, but it's about to cross into a more heavily populated area over the next couple of minutes.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, and again, you get down 165, you have a fair bit of, people living on that road. It goes north out of Ravenel, kind of between Ravenel and Somerville. And I will say that I would say that, Scotty, if we want to pan the radar north a little bit, I know that this is outside of the warning, but it certainly seems that let's see, there might be something trying to spin up just to the between Highway 78 and I-26 north of Somerville right now. So if we want to pan up a little bit,
sure.
And again,
right here would be the area I think Jared's talking about between Somerville and Ridgeville.
Yeah, there's no warning on this yet, but I gotta tell you, with the way that some of these have looked, that certainly is an area that I would be relatively concerned about. That we'll need to keep an eye on closely. Again, we've had some reports out of Somerville that the rain is definitely picking up there, and so we want people to continue to monitor this closely. Again, the tornado warning is southwest of Somerville, and so, but we're going to need to see what happens with this because again, we have two areas of circulation. I'm going to see if I can't get radar scope here real quick.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if I can share. Let me, again, Scotty, I'm going to change this to multiple participants can share, and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. Sure.
And we'll go to my weirdly vertically stacked radar scope, but it does the job. Is about all I do here. Everybody's seeing okay. So really two areas of rotation within the tornado warning. We have the one that's in let me see. We have the one that's in Charleston County. We have the one that's in Dorchester County. All right. And so now, so now the Weather Service is updating. Yeah, severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes were located along a line extending from Delamar Crossroads to 6 miles northwest of Ravenel, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. So now these are starting to speed up a little bit. But we have two distinct rotations here. And again, I want to call out that while there's no warning on this yet, this is something that we're going to want to keep an eye on. This very little guy here and a little guy near the Naval Weapons Station. That certainly is worth watching here. It looks like we're in a decently sheared environment for some quick spin up tornadoes. We've had no reports of tornadoes. I think that that's important to note. We've had no reports of any tornadoes down, and that is a good thing. But we're going to need people to be, very cautious on this. So Scotty, it looks like I may have my connection back. So I'm going to switch my internet source real quick. So there may be a drop.
Okay.
As I switch my internet, but I promise it'll be better for everyone.
And like Jared said, there's multiple areas of rotation here that we are following. Also seeing a little bit of a lightning uptick. That also kind of tells us inside the weather world that this storm is strengthening a little bit. We're starting to see more lightning associated with it. That's also a telltale sign that we could see something developing in these areas. So, Jared, it's again, multiple locations within this warning, multiple rotation areas that we're continuing to monitor here at 6:06 here on Monday, August 24th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is 6:06 Monday, August 24th. I'm Jared Smith, Charleston Weather, Carolina Weather Group with Scotty Powell, the Carolina Weather Group. Trying to make sense of this for y'all. I think it's 2020 is doing 2020 things. And again, we have two storms that may potentially be, that have the potential to produce tornadoes on the radar right now. I'm going to stop my screen share. I'm going to pull up the other radar that has a little bit better GIS. So I'm going to start my video here. We're going to go NDI video here. You should see my radar here now.
Yep, we got you.
Cool, very good. So right now we have one area of circulation that is north of Delamar Crossroads, south of Clubhouse Crossroads. It's kind of splitting the difference. This is getting close to Highway 165. So if you're anywhere along Highway 165 between Delamar Crossroads and say Cook Crossroads, you should be. This one is headed towards Delamar Crossroads as well. So two areas of rotation within the tornado warning, as we can see right there. We've had some transient rotation north of Somerville. We've had some transient rotation near the weapons station. Not strong enough to warn on. So we don't have to worry about that too much right now, but we're going to watch it because, again, it certainly seems like that we have an environment that's relatively conducive for the development of tornadoes. Go into reflectivity here real quick. You can see a little hook echo. It looks like a seahorse almost. It's like a seahorse echo in southwestern Dorchester County, and you'll have a little bit of inflow there, and that's where your rotation is. But it's worth noting that there's a lot of rain with these. In fact, we now have a flood advisory out for parts of Charleston and Colleton counties until 7:30. We pulled that flood advisory. That's going to be a little southwest of the tornado warning, so they're not overlapping. However, there's some pretty heavy rain in these storms, and I think that it's important to note that you're not going to be able to see. If there's a tornado, you're not going to be able to see it. I think that's the most important thing that we could tell you. Don't go outside trying to look for this thing because you're not going to see it until it's too late. Trust the science. That's why we have the Doppler radar, because it can look inside the storm. It can look at the winds inside the storm. So we definitely have some issues here. Now, I want to point out that I'm getting a lot of reports now, getting reports of power outages in Park Circle in North Charleston, which is curious because, and I just had a power outage here not long ago. I don't have a drop of rain at my place right now. So there might be something else amiss with power distribution. But as we look at the radar here, I'm going to switch to another radar source because it looks like we're a little out of date. Again, we have, these two areas of rotation now, and we've had a lot of rain with this. If we look at the storm total precip, we're inch of rain in a lot of spots, and that could very well be underestimating. We have an issue with that. Scotty, did you lose me again?
I know, I got you. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. But yeah, so some tornado safety guidelines. I think this is really important. Again, if you're in an apartment, don't know that there's a lot of apartments in this area, but as you get further into more populated areas, you may see apartments. You may start getting into these apartment complexes. Go to the lowest possible floor and into a central room, crouch under an interior stairwell, and hang out until we tell you that all is well.
If you're out on the
Again,
road
right now, I think and if you're on the road, pull over, find a gas station, and let's just wait this guy out. And again, it looks like that broad rotation southwest of Delamar Crossroad is trying to reform. So we have a broad area of rotation southwest of Delamar Crossroad. We have a second one that's just north of Delamar Crossroads. This rotation is getting very close to 165 now on Delamar Highway here. It's not the biggest lit up thing, and the tornado warning is expiring.
So I was going to say it's expired.
So good news. That's what we like to see as we approach dinner time. However, we do want to watch these closely. From what I understand, there have been no reports of any damage right now. Well, obviously, that'll come in after the storms have passed. But we should see this drop off the screens shortly. The Weather Service has allowed the tornado warning to expire. Scotty, for the benefit of our audience, I'm going to zoom out and just quickly talk about what we've got going on. Yeah. The rest of the area still have, a lot of, heavy downpours. Some of this is being fed from Marco. Some of this is being fed from Laura. We're getting a 1-2 double punch here of tropical moisture across the area this afternoon. And you can see, the conditions that would cause, that you can see the wind shear in the radar products. Actually, you see some storms going west. You see some storms coming from the southwest to the northeast. And so you can see that wind shear actually very nicely here on this radar image today. But as you can see, the good news is that the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Will expire at 6:15, but it looks like the risk for severe weather has ended in this area. We have no indication that there has been any damage. We have no indication that a tornado has touched down. Again, we were checking the correlation coefficient fairly frequently and concluded that there was no debris being lofted. So all in all, a good result. This is what we like to see. Obviously, if you have any damage reports, you tweet them at us at Carolina WX Group at CHSWX. We'll get those over to the Weather Service so they can catalog that or tag national. Heck, go right to the horse's mouth at NWS Charleston SC. They were looking at Twitter too. So lots of ways to get your storm reports in when it's safe. However, if there's lightning in the area, right now there is, you want to make sure that you are in, make sure that you stay inside for a little bit, wait for that lightning to pass, give it about 30 minutes. And then you'll be good. But again, we have a lot of rain moving through, and we're going to have some flooding issues possibly for, as we get into this evening, as this tropical moisture that is linked to Laura and Marco, but not necessarily direct impacts from Laura and Marco, funnel up into the area.
Yeah, Jared, again, that flood advisory ongoing also. So we'll continue to monitor that. We know that this area is prone to flooding a lot. That goes until looking at 7:30. So actually a new mesoscale precipitation discussion going on. So that just kind of tells you that there's going to be a lot of heavy rain in the area throughout the evening. So remember, do not drive through any flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown. We just don't know how deep that water is. But you guys, you've lived through this. All about flooding down that area. But it's always good to remind you to turn around, don't drown. It's just not worth it. I'm sure there's another way that you can get to where you need to go to as well. And again,
no doubt. And I think,
go ahead.
Sorry, Scotty. I think one thing I want to make sure that we note is that, something that gets lost in a lot of the noise. Downtown gets all the headlines, but Somerville just a few days ago had a pretty significant flooding event. And it's very possible that with the potential train of heavy rain and heavy thunderstorms, that we could see additional flooding develop in Somerville tonight. So again, if you're there, if you're in Somerville, I'm going to encourage you to, be listening out for flood advisories and be ready to find, and be ready to find new routes. So, Yeah, it's again, no flood advisories directly in the Charleston metro area right now, but that could very well change. These are slow-moving, heavy rain producing thunderstorms, tropical thunderstorms. So, we're going to be busy, but we're going to be busy watching that. Hopefully, we won't be busy watching any more tornadoes, though.
Yeah, let's hope that the tornado threat stays away. Again, slow moving storm, so watch for some flooding, lightning out there as well. And as Jared said earlier, if you do see any damage, make sure that you tag Charleston Weather hashtag CHSWX. You can tag us at Carolina Weather Group and as well as the National Weather Service there in Charleston. We'd love to see what's going on in your area. So, Jared, it looks like it's going to be a stormy evening down there in the coastal part of the low country of South Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a dark and stormy night, and that's pretty much been the rule of thumb here for the last few days. It's nothing we can't handle. I just prefer a few tornado warnings, but then again, 2020. So
maybe we can get the stalled front out of here quickly. I think this has been a day after day event. I think everybody's ready for a little bit of sunshine and clear weather.
Aren't we all? So, yeah, ain't that the truth? But yeah, again, folks, thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry for the scare. Hopefully all it was a scare, and hopefully everybody's okay. Get those damage reports in. I think at this point, Scotty, I think we're going to be in a good place to sign off. If we need to come back, we will.
Yeah. Check us out Wednesday night. We'll have a new episode at 9 p.m. And we're also going to be monitoring the tropics with Marco and Laura. And thankfully, fingers crossed, it doesn't look like we're going to see major impacts from from either storm. But we'll continue to monitor just in case if something does change. And Jared, we know this forecast has been it's just been changing every hour, it seems, with Laura. So no major impact expected for our area, but we'll continue to monitor that. And if something breaks out, we'll break in like we did here. So I think you're controlling the show, so I'll let you close us out.
Yep, sounds good. All right, Scotty. So for Scotty Powell and the rest of Carolina Weather Group, I'm Jared Smith, Charleston Weather, Carolina Weather Group. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and hopefully we don't see you again until Wednesday.